everyone, it's Julia. For this week's project, I'm going to be doing just an easy free motion design on a pillow. I have chosen these 4 fabrics to use for my applique, and I'm using the Tim Holtz alteration die. This one is called Tea Time. It's just a really cute little die. It has actually 2 different size cups, a saucer, and then a little tea bag on the die. To get started, I am going to be ironing on a little bit of Heat and Bond Light on the back side of my fabrics, just enough to cover the little die part of the design. When you're using the Heat and Bond Light, you want to make sure that it does say light on the package. I get my Heat and Bond Light at Walmart, and it comes in a purple package. The Heat and Bond that comes in the red package is not meant for sewing, and it's hard. It'll break thread, and your sewing machine does not like it. So make sure it's in the purple package. Applying the heat and bond is very easy. Basically, there's a pebbly side to it that you lay face down on the back side of your fabric, and then you just, with your iron, no steam, just adhere it. Just press it, and it's going to grab it right away. And then I'm just going to cut around this piece, and this is what's going to run through my BigShot. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply all the Heat and Bond to my other colors. Once the Heat and Bond is on the back of all the fabric, I'm laying them over the top of the die, just making sure that they're centered over the die and so that I get the full cut that I need. I can cut at least 4 layers at a time. So I'm making my sandwich and I'm running it through my BigShot. And just kind of snapping them out. This is the bin that I use to keep all my leftover scraps. I have one for the yellows and pinks and reds, and another one for the blues and the greens, which you're going to see in a minute here. I use these all the time when I need just a little bit of, or even when I'm making a fabric collage. I found a little bit of scrap, kind of a cream color, that already has the Heat and Bond on the back of it. And then I'm going to run this through the BigShot. I forgot the little tea bag, and I do want a little tea bag for this. And so I'm going to place that over the tea bag and run this through one more time. Now onto the pillow top. I have a piece of muslin cut at 13 by 13. This is going to be a 12 by 12 pillow. And I have a piece of batting or fleece on the underside of this. This is going to be the top of my pillow. This little fleece adds a lot of stability when I'm doing my free motion. If you don't have that, you're going to have some kind of stabilizer or to tear away underneath it. Another thing that the fleece works really well for, or the thin batting, is when I go to stuff the pillow, it stuffs so much easier without any bumps or lumps or anything on the top of it. It just makes for a real smooth top of your pillow. I'm going to lay my design out next. The little Heat and Bond just easily peels off the back side. This design has a slit in the tops of each of these little cups, which is fun for the stacking. You can just kind of slip them in I have the design on how I want it. So all the little cups are kind of just stacked and kind of wonky. And I'm going to take my iron and I'm just going to get that into place. Just heat set that into place. I've decided I want to write the word tea on the little tea bag. To do that, I'm going to use the Uniball Deluxe Micro Pen. I like these because they are permanent and they don't seem to like wick into the fiber. Sharpies, like the little fine Sharpies, really I struggle with those because it seems to want to bleed into the fiber. But these work pretty well. Another thing I want to do for the little tea bag is I'm going to add a piece of jute. This is just like twine, jute, and I'm going to just put a little tail on this tea bag, and I'm going to be doing that at the sewing machine when I'm free motioning this on, and I'm just going to just catch it in with my stitching. But I'm going to cut that and get that to my sewing machine right now, so I hopefully won't forget to do that. The next thing that I want to do is I want to add some color to the background, or just some more interest to the background of this pillow. To do that, I am going to be using a stamp, and this is just a swirl stamp on a wood mount. I've had this forever. And I'm going to be using the Permanent Mixed Media Ink palette by Tim Holtz. Again, this is permanent, so it works well for fabric. And I'm just going to be using the black. And I'm going to be randomly just placing these on the front side of the pillow and also the back side, which is right here. So I'm going to be adding the swirls also to that. I find when I'm adding stamping to fabric, you just want to make sure you get a good amount of ink. You want your ink pad to be quite juicy, and then I like to hold it into place for a little while to kind of transfer some more of that ink into the fabric. And it's not going to be a super great impression, it's just kind of the way it is usually on fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and sporadically just place these little swirls on, and then I'm going to be adding some color to the swirls. To add some color to the little swirls, I'm going to be using my Pitt Pens by Faber-Castell. Again, these work awesome on fabric because they're permanent and they really stay on the top, and they don't bleed into the fabric at all. And so I'm just going to be randomly kind of filling in these little swirls and just kind of having some fun with it, and just like I said, adding some more color to the background. Background the way I want it, and now it's over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to set my little camera up so you can kind of watch me while I do my free motion. I have my feed dogs dropped, and I have my embroidery foot on. At the very beginning, when I first started stitching, I went back and forth a few times, and that kind of locks the stitch, kind of gives it like a little knot. And I clipped my thread. And now I'm just going over and outlining everything. And I do like to go over things 2 to 3 times. And it kind of gives it a sketchy kind of a drawn on look. I think one of the hardest things for beginners when they're learning how to free motion is to get the movement right. You just have to kind of, in an even way, just keep that fabric moving. You're doing all the driving because your feed dogs are completely dropped. Notice how I turned the fabric there? I usually don't have to turn the fabric. The only time I do that is when I really can't see where I'm going and I just need to get a better angle at it. And I'm going to turn it again there. And now I'm just kind of wandering back down, putting in the rim of that bottom cup. And now I'm putting in that tea bag tail. I just kind of laid that piece of cord on and I'm just kind of going over with my stitches. And I just cut my thread. Here's kind of a close-up of the finished applique. I just love it. It's very whimsical and bright and just a lot of fun. The little tea bag. This is going to get, next step is to turn it into a pillow. And I'm going to link a previous video up above so you can kind of see how I go from this point into a pillow. And then I'll show some pictures of the finished pillow next at the end of the video. I just want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something today, and I hope you give free motion applique a try. Thanks so much. Bye.